Jamie. Well, here we have the quagmire that we find ourselves in, and that's really something pretty cool because my goal is to be an example for the rest of the world of how to legally resolve crime, but cooperation from law enforcement is beyond critical in this process. So, what do you have to say about what you feel is about to happen? What date is today?
Today, good question. Today is December 6th, 2024.
Now, this smoker would allow us to continuously make money because this is the one that I had planned to put on the road while the other two are stationary. So not only is this a form of theft, not a form, but just straight up theft, and I put the value of the smoker at $25,000. I paid much less for it because my name is Dan Reeses and I know how to buy things for less than the value of what they're worth. It's what I do. I've been doing it my whole life. Now, this unit was stolen from the property. There are hundreds of cameras that whoever took this must pass. So unless they put it inside of a truck that is hidden, which I do not see that happening.
No. Even if they did, we'd still know.
Yeah, of course, there's trucks that pull up onto the property. It happened in the last week, and really in this channel is to see, do we as taxpayers have any recourse from law enforcement? Now, in my perfect scenario, the police come, they look at the images of the trucks and cars that have passed through here. If they find one with the smoker that matches the description, then it is resolved. But unfortunately, I find myself being a victim of political corruption in Warren County. So law enforcement has been asked to not get involved and not resolve the crimes. That's right. So it's very exciting. Let's keep it rolling for a few more seconds and basically let everybody at home know that on January 6th, I will be starting the first movie. I have already filmed thousands of hours of content that explains who I am, what I do, what this is about. The reason for that is continuity, since it is very hard to keep a story straight that has so many different elements in it. And no matter how many times people want to call me a liar, I will point to me being the person that's on YouTube publicly speaking about it versus the cowards that hide in the background that are so ghastly afraid of their lies and their horrible actions being exposed that you see no response. Zero. So I say to you, people of the United States, who will you trust? Who will you believe? The man that speaks and is strong and has conviction, or will you side with bullies that stand to reap millions of dollars by you not caring? The reason why the men got away, men and women got away with the crimes they committed against me, is because we live in a society where the President of the United States will pardon his son for committing crimes and will make sure that that's an example of the way parents should be treating their children.
Right.
I, for one, if I was president, would make my son go to prison for what he did. And the reason for that is because my honor is too high. And Hunter Biden was so flagrant in his criminality that the real crime that he committed was using his father's office
to the bitter end.
And he was able to reap millions of dollars. And the country's issue with what he did with the money, that he's a crackhead and he wasted it.
You know what's fascinating? Still to this day, has Secret Service with him.
Well, he's the son of the president.
Right.
All direct family members of the president of the United States. Taxpayers
Taxpayer money.
Pay.
It's so like
he
was like leaving
Biden,
Arby's, and they
Hunter Biden
this,
has Secret Service because we live in a very archaic society that simply doesn't really understand that in a digital world, a man like Hunter Biden should not have any Secret Service protection. He should be doing whatever he chooses to do, but there is no value to protecting the life of Hunter Biden.
Right. If he feels like he needs protection, he should hire his own.
It is such a waste of taxpayer money.
Such a waste.
It is such a gluttonous, disgusting waste. And now there's an office that's been opened up by Elon Musk. my
An
partner
end to this.
for what I'm trying to do, but we have a society that looks at Elon Musk as a billionaire beyond billionaires and Dan Reeves is a complete loser. And I say to everyone, that is okay. That doesn't change the fact that Project Ghost has publicly taken over the White House. We have the logic revolution that is starting. The digital vote is in the process of being managed, and it is only a matter of time until we make the switch and become a modern society. A lot of people are fighting this. Many people that are fighting this change are part of an archaic, older system that truly benefited off of the public's ignorance as to how much of a waste their job is. So, for example, there are thousands, tens of thousands of New Jersey employees that do absolutely nothing except collect taxpayer revenue.
Correct.
And show zero responsibility for what they are supposed to be doing. While there is about 5 to 10% of government employees that take on the majority of the workload, and they do this thanklessly. They do this because they believe it's the right thing to do. And we have just finished a 4-year presidency that simply supports the old system, since the president was like 1,000 years old and he had no interest in changing anything. So we are going into a much more modern day age, whether people like it or not. No one ever expected the Republican Party to be ushering in a modern age, but because of the systemic corruption at the hands of the people in power over the last 4 years, the people currently that will be going into power are left with very little choice but to enact revenge against the people that really took advantage of the Department of Justice and the power that they had at the time, and instill a foundation for the next president and the next government agencies to really have a semblance of clarity, since budgets on a municipal level are just that. They're designed for small towns to make their own decisions. If small towns like Greenwich chooses to have a police department that is not capable of doing their jobs other than writing tickets, that is their prerogative.
Yeah,
How's that?
that's true.
All right, let's sit here and wait to see how long it takes the
I
police
was just
officer.
looking to see when I call.
There's nothing that goes on in this town. So
Nothing.
The delay of showing up is nothing more than a purposeful delay. But we want to start off on a good foot. So we're going to make sure to give the law enforcement a chance to do their job before we accuse them of corruption. There's no reason to just go around inventing stories. It is very, very important for people to stick to the facts and run a narrative based on the facts. Don't change the facts to reflect the narrative. Right now, we're going into this with clear expectations and nothing more than, hey, there are hundreds of cameras up and down. Only the police department has the ability to investigate a crime and have access to this. This is not a civil matter. What else do you have to say before I wrap it up?
I'm hopeful that they're going to actually do their job.
The
I'm
game's
hoping for
afoot.
change.
We have a direct crime that has been
Yeah, we
documented and
definitely
committed. So let's see what happens. Please stay tuned.